The National Energy Regulator has approved the national free basic electricity rate for qualifying households. This is the rate of those qualifying for free basic electricity starting from the 1st of July this year. Joining us to tell us more about this is the head of electricity pricing and tariffs at Nersa, Brian Sechothlo. It's great to have you with us on the program. Thanks very much for giving us your time. And that's an important distinction to make, right? This is for qualifying households. And who are those qualifying households?
Qualifying, good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your viewers. Qualifying households will be the indigent people, but they need to apply to the municipalities for the registration, for their registration in the indigent register. And then after having been registered, then they qualify for this NBE rate.
So Brian, yeah, so Nersa says that the amount of energy should be enough, the amount of this free electricity should be enough to provide basic lighting, media access, basic water heating with a kettle, basic ironing, and the list goes on and on. How does Nersa determine how much free electricity homes do get, and you know what a basic amount is?
Let me just quickly clarify that point. Nersa does not determine how much free basic electricity should be given to these indigent customers. That is the part that is done by the Department of Minerals and Energy Resources. And then once they've determined that, like for instance, for now it is at 50 kilowatt hours, once they've determined that, Nersa's only duty is to approve the rate at which the municipalities will reimburse Eskom in areas where Eskom is the supplier of that electricity. So municipality will get the money from the National Treasury, and once they get that money from the National Treasury, they would then take 50 kilowatt hours times the number of indigents that have been supplied with this free basic electricity, and that amount would be the amount that they would then have to pay to Eskom.
So I suppose, would Nersa be able to tell us whether the cost of living is taken into that calculation, Brian, into that calculation of what free basic electricity is?
Yes, in every decision that Nersa makes regarding especially the pricing, there are three things that are always considered. The one is the sustainability of the supplier. The second one is the affordability to the customers. And the other one is the impact on the economy. So those three things, obviously, these are competing objectives, but those three things are taken into consideration. And once that you balance them, and then you come to a rate that will be acceptable for the customers.
So 50 kilowatt hours is the basic free electricity allowance, right, Brian? Can you give us a sense of, for those of us who are on prepaid electricity, what does that amount to? Are you able to give us that kind of calculation?
Yes, well, it doesn't matter whether you are on prepaid or whether you are on postpaid.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the free basic electricity that has now been, the rate that has been calculated is 194.4 cents per kilowatt. Mm-hmm. That would be the amount that the municipality would then reimburse Eskom at.
So almost 2 rand per kilowatt, is that correct?
That is almost 2 rand per kilowatt hour, yes.
Okay.
So that would mean that it's about 100 rands if you get it. It's about 100 rands if you take 194. Yeah.
So what does this cost Treasury at the moment, Brian?
What does it cost the Treasury?
Yes, in terms of, you know, the amount of people that qualify for free basic electricity and this rate that you've just given us now for the 50 kilowatt hours.
I'm sorry to say this, but at the moment, we don't get involved in that space. So the Treasury will be the one that would know how much it would be. But per municipality, it would be that number of indigents times 50 times 194. Mm-hmm. That would be, yes, the number that would be allowable for that particular municipality, yes.
Do you know why I'm asking that question, Brian? Because, you know, my follow-up question would have been, is there any room to increase the subsidy for those homes who are particularly struggling?
And I really actually sense that question to be coming. And you are not the first one, I must just say that. when we do our own public hearings and consultations, we do receive comments from stakeholders to say that the 50 kilowatt hours is not enough for them. It does not really go any far. So this matter, we normally, because as I said at the beginning, this is the policy of the DMRE. Nersa does not draft policy or does not develop policies. The DMRE would be the one that develops those policies. So the 50 kilowatt hours, we have actually taken it up with the DMRE. The DMRE will be the one then that will look at it, and maybe based on what they would assume to be allowable or to be sufficient to the customers, they would then approve that. But the other thing is that it is 50 kilowatt hours paid for by the government, by the National Treasury. However, other municipalities do offer 100 kilowatt hours, 70 kilowatt hours, but it does not come out of the pricing to other customers. It comes out of the bottom line of the municipality, or maybe out of the rates and taxes that the municipality would be.
I see.
But the 50 is the one that is sponsored by the National Treasury.
I see. So Brian, just a final word from you for those of our viewers who are watching and perhaps are hearing about this for the first time. If I believe that I qualify for this free basic electricity, what are the next steps I should be taking?
Yeah, the next steps that you must take is to consult your municipality, and then the municipality will, I think there are forms that you need to fill in, and they would investigate to find out whether or not whatever you are giving in those forms is the truth and nothing but the truth. And once you meet those criteria, then they would then put you on that register, and then you'll be able to get the free basic electricity, just like any other indigent that would be.
Brian Sechothlo, thank you for your time this afternoon. He is the head of electricity pricing and tariffs at Nersa. And yeah, the National Energy Regulator approving the free basic electricity rate. And that's for qualifying households for 2024-2025.